Good morning, students. I hope you all are fit and fine at home. In today's session, we will discuss Chapter 6 Exploring Patriotism. But before we move on, I want to tell you something. That if you have noticed, right from Chapter 1 to Chapter 6, each and every chapter begins with the word exploring. Exploring means to discuss a subject or topic in detail. Students, I hope you all are familiar with the concept of patriotism. It is the feeling of love, devotion and sense of attachment for our motherland, our country. We celebrate two Indian festivals every year, the Independence Day and the Republic Day. Students, India's independence is not an overnight achievement. It took a lot of efforts and sacrifices from the prominent leaders like Mahatma Gandhi ji, Bhagat Singh, Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel and many others. So I am going to share a small video of some freedom fighters. Let's have a look of them. Students, I hope you have gone through the video about the freedom fighters. Now, let's start with the Unit 6, Exploring Patriotism. So, here is Activity 1. As you can see, there is an image of a tree. But if you observe it carefully, you can trace out the branches as the faces of some renowned people, or we can say freedom fighters. But what you have to do is you have to count that how many faces are there, and you have to list down them in your notebook. Students, as you can see that there are 10 faces in this image, and you can easily identify them. These are the faces of various freedom fighters, the people who fought for our nation in order to give us freedom, like Mahatma Gandhi, Khan Abdul Ghaffar Khan, Bal Gangadhar Tilak, Subhash Chandra Bose, Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru, Lal Bahadur Shastri, Bhagat Singh, Dr. Sarvapalli Radhakrishnan, Rajiv Gandhi and Indira Gandhi. Students, you all know that Mahatma Gandhi is commonly called Bapu, the father of nation, by every Indian citizen. He is considered as one of the most important leaders of India's freedom struggle. He began his activism as an Indian immigrant in South Africa. Actually, Mohandas Karamchand Gandhi went to South Africa in 1893 with professional motives. He expected to return in a few months, but instead of that, he got involved in the freedom movement and eventually stayed there for 21 years. Students, do you know why the heading is The Making of the Mahatma? Mahatma means great soul, because it is suggesting us the journey of a person named Mohandas Karamchand Gandhi to Mahatma Gandhi. The person named Mohandas Karamchand Gandhi was not Mahatma from his birth, but there were some situations under which he became Mahatma. He faced the situations in such a way that his ways of facing different situations made him Mahatma from a common man. He fought through all the obstacles that came his way with love and peace. That's why we call him Mahatma. Now, let's see what were those situations or obstacles. Gandhiji became associated with the social life of Indians in South Africa since his arrival there in 1893. So students, Gandhiji went to South Africa in 1893. After reaching there, he kept connected with the social life of Indians. As being an Indian, he was fond of meeting Indian people and he became a well-known figure in Indian community. Can anyone act against one's own nature or escape being a plaything in the hands of fate? Students, Gandhiji always believed in simplicity, but when he saw injustice being served to the Indian immigrants by the South Africans, there was a big change in his behavior led by fate. But as it must have been the design of destiny, his 21 years stay in South Africa became the preparatory period that equipped him with the perseverance and moral strength to emancipate society from the forces of untruth and violence with spiritual antidote of truth and non-violence. Students, preparatory means done in order to prepare for something, and perseverance means the quality of continuing to try to achieve a particular aim despite difficulties. Emancipate means to free somebody from restrictions. So students, as we know that Gandhiji went to South Africa with professional motives, but it was destiny that he got involved in the freedom movement and eventually stayed there for 21 years, where he developed his political views, ethics and politics to free society with truth and non-violence from the forces of untruth and violence. It was a life of pure dedication, for not once in 21 years did he ever project himself as one who was after fame or one asserting himself as the author of events. Students, according to the writer, Gandhiji's life in South Africa was a life of pure dedication, because there he never projected himself as one who pursued fame or asserted himself as the author of events. Here, author of events suggests that he never presented himself taking a leading role in different events that took place there. Gandhiji believed in his own principles for many years. He fought for India's freedom, believing that the only way to end the hatred and war is peace and love. Students, that's all for today. We will discuss the remaining part of this activity in our next session. But as you all know that it's not the end of the session. Today I am going to share 5 things you should practice every day to improve your English. So students, Today I am going to share 5 things that you need to practice every day to improve your English, and if you develop these habits, they will surely make you a fluent and a confident speaker. So, let's talk about them. Number 1 is read the newspaper. Of course, I mean an English one. The newspaper is a rich source of vocabulary and general knowledge, both of which are important to become a fluent speaker of language. And here is the smart way to read the paper. You can start with the front page, read all the top stories. Then go to the other news sections, local, national and international, and read the headlines. If a headline interests you, you want to know more about it, then read the story. If a headline is not that interesting or important to you, then skip it. After this, go to the editorial section. This is where opinions are found. These are the really interesting articles in any newspaper. Read these articles in depth. Spend time analyzing the language used by the author. After this, finish by perusing, that is briefly reading the sections that are of interest to you, like sports, entertainment, business, etc. Number 2 is watch English language TV shows. By doing this, you will develop your listening skills. There are many different kinds of shows: drama series, sports programs, movies, documentaries, talk shows, and even the news. So, watch TV shows that interest you. And as you watch, pay attention to the language. What new words, phrases, or idioms do you hear? What tone of voice do the speakers use? What's their body language like? When you see a fluent speaker, your goal should be to imitate his or her language and expression. So students, get into the habit of watching English language TV shows for at least 30 minutes every day. Students, number 3 is learn 5 new words every day. These can be from the newspaper, from any TV shows or movies you see, or even from your everyday conversations with people. Whenever you come across new vocabulary, words, phrasal verbs, idioms, you have to note down them. You can do this either in a notebook or in a file on your computer. Students, aim to collect 5 words or phrases every day. And when you write them down, also write their dictionary, definitions, and some example sentences. The important thing is to review all of this vocabulary regularly and try to use what you learn in your own speech and writing. Students, if you do this consistently, you will start seeing improvement in your choice of words very soon. Students, number 4 is an exercise, and it will train you to start thinking directly in English. Throughout your day, make sentences in your mind about what is happening around you. You can do this in any situation. For example, when you are at home, when you are waiting at the doctor's clinic, or when you are taking a walk. Do this exercise many times every day. Make it a habit to make English sentences in your mind. Number 5 is recap your day. This is an exercise you should do at the end of the day, maybe just before you go to bed. Imagine that you are telling a friend about your day in English. Say what happened in school or at home. You can also talk about what are your plans for tomorrow. Students, aim to do this for about 5 to 10 minutes before you sleep. So students, that's all for today. I hope you enjoyed it. We'll meet you soon with a new session. Till then, stay fit, stay healthy, and keep learning.